I'm just
Oh, I need a
circling
napkin.
up.
Hold on. Okay, start with your question so I can think.
Okay,
Yeah, you should have told her.
number one.
What's that?
What do you remember about life in Italy as a child?
Ooh, tell them about the white horse.
Well, what I remember that I can even visualize was we lived in the farm. My parents had a white dog. As much as I can't deal with dogs today, but they had a white dog, but he did not live in the house. So anyway, I had a horse, a white horse, and I can't for the life of me remember his name. And I rode that thing with a saddle and without the saddle. Oh, I loved it. I loved it. So, but that was the fun part. Remember that I lived not too far from my grandparents. We used to walk up the hill and go up to their farm, and he had a lot of horses and things like that. But I remember being out of school for a whole year because when I was like 7, I got sick with that they could treat it today so easy, whether it was a pneumonia or what is pleurisy like? Do you know what that is? It's like a lung thing.
Yeah. So you had like a lung. Oh, I don't know that.
So I was out of school for a whole year in bed. Years ago, they didn't have the same treatments, of course, today. And being in bed all that time, even some of my classmates, I remember them coming in the bedroom, and my father would have the doctor come in and stuff like that. Remember, one of my aunt was a nurse. She'd given me shots, and then we had to wear uniform because it was a Catholic school. And remembering these mean nuns that I was so afraid of them. She would have you put your hands on your desk, and if your nails were dirty or if they were too long, whatever, she would hit you with the stick. That's how things were years ago. Even here, I think it was kind of brutal for kids. But that was part of it, and that's all. I remember for Christmas, our Santa Claus was a Bufana. It was a lady. It was called Bufana.
I remember reading about that.
And what we used to get in our stocking was fruit. It wasn't, candy and stuff like that. But that was basically what I remember on that.
What age did you leave?
We left, I was almost 8. See, my birthday was in November. We left, I think it was in October. Yeah, I was almost 8.
He thought it was broken, but then they took him to the
Got in this big, huge ship.
Yeah.
The weather was unbelievable rough. I can remember the tables were all tied because of the rough seas. My brother was in the infirmary because he got sick. I remember these bunk beds in that ship, and then the only thing I can remember was getting off that ship. I think it's called Ellis Island now, of course, always been. And that's about it. And remembering, went to my uncle's, and we lived with him for a few weeks because he sponsored us. Nobody could come to America unless you had a sponsor that would take care of you if your parents didn't have a job or couldn't pay, have an apartment or whatever. And and I remember getting an apartment. And that was about it. And
Did you know any people on the when you were on the boat? Like, were there other families that you had known from before? Or no.
no, the only thing my mom said, we helped this young girl come to America, that she with us, but I don't even remember that. I do not remember that she was with us. It's the weirdest thing. No, because you didn't get families that you would say, oh, let's go to America. It was like
I was in Florida.
you know,
We
different
had to go this morning.
different
They do, like,
states,
annual
different
sales.
cities. That
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you understand like why you were leaving when you were? Or you just kind of go along with
No,
it?
I just went along with it. We used to think, oh, America, we're going to America, you know, and it was supposedly something really, you know.
Yeah.
I do remember
Florida's just getting.
my father bringing me all over to see all kinds of doctors to make sure what I had that year that I was out of school, that everything was fine, because you couldn't come to America if they found something wrong with you, or if you had a disease or whatever. So you couldn't come in. So I remember walking for miles to these doctors because we didn't have a car. And vaguely remember walking with my father and going from seeing different doctors. And that was it was not a very nice remembering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did your family, or did they like America when they got there more than Italy, or was it a tough adjustment?
I think it was a tougher adjustment because we liked it because we knew we have a better life than living in a farm, even though I didn't think the farm was that bad living. I mean, we had everything that we needed. But they liked it because they knew if they got a job, they can advance and get better, a better home, not better home, but I don't know, a little more wealth.
Opportunities.
Yeah, opportunities is right. But other than that, I think it was hard for them at first because they weren't used to, they couldn't understand English, and to go to work, to find a job, which they did. They had no choice, because my uncle wasn't going to take care of them all the time. So, but anyway, that was about it. I remember going to school. Is that another question that
Right.
you would ask about school?
You can talk about it.
And you didn't
I
know
think,
English.
yeah, I was gonna say what was like the hardest part.
The hardest
Actually,
part
maybe.
for me was going to school, not knowing anybody, not knowing the language. They just throw you in there. You didn't have people that say, okay, I speak Italian, I'll translate your whatever you want to say. We did not have that. And it made you learn the language. It made you accept your environment more than now, where some people will still talk their own language because they don't have to learn a complete language to learn all your different subjects or whatever. And it was tough walking through. I remember walking at 8 years old, walking through these corridors in school. Everybody was talking, and I didn't know what they were saying, like it was gibberish, whatever. And it was kind of frightening in a way, but I learned to accept it. I think that was accept it and learn the language, And I had a teacher who she says she will stay after to teach me, words and things like that, and how the school works and all that. So it was really nice to have. But other than that, I had to do it on my own, and so did my parents. They had to learn everything on their own.
So when you were in school, did you feel like you faced discrimination at all from other people?
You know what? There was no such thing then to face that discrimination. I didn't think of it because there was the acceptance of you go into a country and learn their ways and their language. I had never thought of discrimination, never, even through the years, until in the last maybe century that, 25 years, 30 years that I started experiencing that. But other than that, no, I did not. I don't think there was. There was no such thing as, no.
But you say in the past 25 years, there.
I would say yes. The last 20 years, I would say that's when 25 years, this discrimination kind of came into in place that things have changed. Yes, yes.
Did you live in an area that was predominantly Italian at all, or just
Here in America?
when you first
No.
moved? Okay.
No, it was a mix. And I think that's what helped me to learn faster and get used to the American ways.
So where did you guys end up?
We end up in Worcester.
Okay.
We were there I was there till I got married, basically in Worcester. And that was it, yeah.
That's pretty close to you.
Yeah.
So you lived with people of all different nationalities, or just like
There were Italians, there were Jewish, there were Irish. Matter of fact, there was a Russian family, but different, different world.
Yeah.
But yet we all lived together with no problem. Nobody thought, oh, she's Jewish, oh, she's a Russian. We didn't think that. But today it's a different atmosphere. It really is.
It's not good.
No.
How have you maintained your Italian traditions, if any?
I've maintained them from my mom, and as well as my family is important to Italians. My tradition of cooking, my holiday meals, my holiday cookies, my holiday I would say spirit. And it's at my age I still have that spirit of Santa Claus. So
Good.
But-
And you have all your I know my mom has some of your your nana's, your mom's recipes, right?
yes, yeah.
Those are good recipes.
Yeah. And it's even to keep the Italian tradition. I mean, the Befana instead of Santa Claus, but I've learned that Santa Claus, because there was another another life of me when I was young to have a different.
So was your family overall satisfied with their decision to move here?
Yes, they never thought I'd say, well, I want to go back. No, they were satisfied because they both worked. They both worked very hard too.
Do you know what jobs they?
My father worked in they would make a steel, a plant, a steel
Factory.
a factory. And my mother worked in a factory too. She used to sew slippers. And I remember her saying, she came out one day, she goes, Anna, my name was Anna, I wasn't Ann. And she said, look at the money I saved. You know, she had like thousands of dollars in a
Oh, that's
drawer
awesome.
because they weren't they were savers. And I think I got a little bit of them in me too, to save for a rainy day, you know, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But no regrets, no.
So, how have your experiences shaped your opinions on immigration today? Like, what do you think the immigration policy should be?
The same as when I came here. Because there is no reason why somebody can come here. We had to really go I don't mean that you have to go through, I don't want to use that word, but you don't have to go through such a miserable time to come here because they didn't let you in otherwise. But I think the people that come here should have a responsibility of having somebody help them to come here, adjust, and get a job, and embrace America. And today, a lot of them that do come in here, they don't embrace America. I think the world has really changed, not for the better, but I think they have a lot of, I think the immigration should be a little more stricter than it actually is now, because now you don't have to, you could just come in and live here, and as a taxpayer, I have to pay for them, but yet they don't respect us, I don't think. I don't, that's my opinion. I think there should be a little better organization as far as people coming in. They don't want to work, that's the thing. And people just want free things today. I don't think it gives them that sense of wanted to be in America if they can just not embrace it, to love it, work for whatever they get. I think it's pretty sad that they're not, that they want to just come here to get some free stuff. That's it. I don't know.
Because you guys worked so hard.
Yes, we worked very hard for what we have, what we had, but we didn't complain. That was what we knew we had to do. We didn't go to an office and say we need money because we can't live. There was no such thing. So it was made that you go out to work. But today, a lot of people that do come here, they just head to the office so they can collect free money and free stuff. They don't want to work for it. There are some that do want to work for it.